So the next one is to do with how we handle our teaching. How do we get students to engage? Okay, we all know what the old joke about lectures, you know, getting it from this piece of paper to that piece of paper without passing through a brain in between. But if you've got ways of doing that which are technological, the old style lecture where you're handing on material is maybe something that is up for question. And a lot of people are questioning it at the moment as well. And as I say, we're not pretending that we're coming out with brilliant new ideas here, but what we're trying to do is, in all that bubble of work that is going on in pedagogical areas across the patch, we're trying to say these are the ones that are concerning the students. These are the ones that we've seen are concerning a large number of people. So we're trying to pick them out. Students see lectures as having limited use in some cases, so they don't turn up. What is it that makes them turn up? Do we mind that they don't turn up as long as they're engaged in working on the material? We have found attendance to be a common issue. Can we structure whether they turn up or not by the way that we set our assessment? If we set our assessment in the right way, do they need to come to lectures? And so on. There's a whole load of questions around that. So that will be the second area. And the third one is this whole issue of the way people perceive mathematics. So maths is hard. You've got to be dead clever if you're going to do maths. So immediately it becomes an elite subject. If that's the case, then aiming for more. We have had a quotation. I don't want more maths grads. I want better maths grads. So that one has come out. Whether that is then a sustainable ecosystem is another matter. So the kind of things we're talking about here is how do we make sure we've got the right spectrum of degrees in the way that the benchmark acknowledges there can be a spectrum of degrees, from practical to theoretical all the way across. How do we acknowledge our students' expectations? Do we teach our courses as if they're all going to be research mathematicians when only a very, very small proportion of them are? Or do we acknowledge the aspirations? How do we handle the jump from A-level to degree? There's been a lot of talk about the transition with subjects like engineering and the sciences and so on. What about students doing mathematics? Because they get a shock when they discover that mathematics is not what they thought it was when they were doing it at A-level. And so, you know, do we want to go on being a hard subject? And there's an argument to be had there. So that's the third area. So what we want from the session is to talk about some questions that we've formulated under each of those headings. And we're after people who may be prepared to participate in some kind of way, even if it's might be something that you're doing already, that you're prepared to share with somebody else and maybe informally support somebody else if they want to follow something that you've found works and is successful. Or it may be that you, in the course of what we're doing, you hear about something and say, oh, I don't mind having a go at that. That sounds interesting, sounds like it might work. In which case we'll be wanting to act as brokers. We'll be asking if we can watch what happens as a result of different things that people may do differently. And we're trying to start the conversation now and then hope that continues over the next year and beyond. So I think what we need to do now, unless Mike and Mike have got anything else that they think I should have said, no, is to get ourselves out into discussion mode. When in a minute the filming will stop, and what we would like to do though is when we're having the discussions, we'd like to record them purely for our own purposes, so that we don't have to be taking notes all the way through, and those notes will go no further than reminding us what was said in the session. Okay, the first one was to do with communities and support, and this is more about the formal, the informal, the social support. Where do students really get their help from when they're stuck with a problem? Who do they go to, and this kind of thing, and what can we do to help oil the wheels there? If these small social groupings matter, and they clearly do matter, we're getting that as a very strong message back from the students that they clearly do matter, then is there anything that we can do to oil the wheels there? You know, if there are loners, do they suffer because they're not part of a group? So that's the first one. Second one is all about the best way to use lectures. What should we be doing with lectures? What constitutes a good lecture? What constitutes a bad lecture? Can we share our experience there? And we know that people have shared experience over a long period of time, you know, through UMTC, through other publications. There are some really quite good books and papers around about this, but it's clearly not reaching the whole community because there are still some people where the students are saying, yes, it is worth turning up, and there are a lot of people where students are saying, a significant number of students are saying it isn't worth turning up, and they're being kind of left feeling as if they're not getting the best from their experience. So that's the lectures and the handouts and the attendance assessment one. And then the third one was to do with the nature of the subjects and the nature of the courses and the mismatch between more and do we all want more or do we want fewer? It was a relatively small group of people, but they were all really good contacts. They're all people who are pushing work along in a direction that really interests us, and from that point of view, it's been excellent. Actually, we've made some very good contacts. We've all exchanged email addresses and phone numbers, and we're going to carry on the conversation. We've arranged to go and visit each other, and to talk much more about what's going on. So I think very positive contacts have come out of it. Been really pleased. I would want to have a range of mathematics degrees across the country, ranging from the theoretical, the research-driven, the theoretical, all the way across to the very practical, roll your sleeves up, get on and use mathematics with problems. All of them thriving, so all of them with enough numbers on them that they're not looking at the danger of being closed because they're too small. So I would like to see the good things spread across the community so that a whole range of courses can survive. I'd also like to see people who are thinking of coming to do mathematics degrees understanding that not all mathematics degrees are the same, and there being a wider kind of awareness that some courses over here are going to be very theoretical. If you go and do them, then that's the kind of course they are. Some courses over here are going to be very practical. If you come and do them, you'll get a different kind of experience, and that's very healthy. That you want a range of courses. Ours is very much at the practical end. We designed it with a view to making our students as employable as we could and giving them practical mathematical skills at the same time as, you know, being at the right standard with everything that we're doing. And we thought long and hard when we designed that course, and I think that is playing a part in informing our thinking as we do our bit in the More Mathsgrads project. So yes, we put our money where our mouth is, you know, and run the kind of course that we believe our students like, and they tell us that they like it, and they tell us that it gets them where they want to go. At the moment, I think people see BSc mathematics and think math degree is a math degree is a math degree, you know, and actually there's huge variety within these degrees, and people need to know what the questions are to ask. So kind of much more awareness of the nature of the subject. Mathematics needs to be a lot of different things to different people, and it's getting that awareness out for the people who are advising the future students, you know, the school kids who are going to become the future students. We want to make sure that those advisors are aware as well.